Today, we're investigating what I call the action cam singularity, the point where 360 cameras become so good that even traditional action cam shooters might want to switch. As 360 shooters, we've been waiting for this moment. Let's discover together if the Insta360 X5 truly represents this turning point. We know the creative power of 360 cameras, but they've always had compromises compared to traditional action cams. You know what I'm talking about. The lenses are fragile, the image quality isn't as good, and they take a longer time to edit. Could the Insta360 X5 be the 360 camera that eliminates those compromises? Let's investigate together. So the first thing I want to know is, how close has Insta360 X5 gotten to matching GoPro's image quality? As 360 shooters, this has always been our biggest compromise. Let's find out. Please note I was shooting with 4 cameras simultaneously, so you might see some stitching artifacts. Those are because the cameras could see each other, not because of any stitching issues with these cameras. First, let's compare the X4 and X5. If you don't zoom in, the amount of detail looks similar, but what really jumps out at me is that the X5 has much less glare than the X4. The X5 also looks richer, while the X4 looks more flat in comparison. Now let's compare the Hero 12 and the X5. At first glance, they look comparable. It's only when you look more closely that you see that the Hero 12 has much better shadow detail and looks richer. I was expecting a bigger difference between the X4 and the X5, but I was impressed with how well the X5 compares to the Hero 12. Now, one of the biggest pain points for shooting in 360 has been low light. Let's see if Insta360 X5 has finally solved this. I hope you're ready for this, because in low light, the difference between the X4 and X5's pure video mode is simply shocking. It looks like a two-stop difference. That's because the X5's sensors are more than 2 times larger than the X4's sensors. And in addition, the X5 has 3 AI sensors compared to just 1 AI sensor for the X4. Now when I compared the GoPro Hero 12 and the X5 pure video mode, I was surprised that the X5 totally crushed the GoPro Hero 12. Not only was the X5 brighter, but it also had less motion blur from camera shake. So now we see that the Hero 12 is a bit better than the X5 in daylight, while the X5 is a lot better than the Hero 12 in low light. So which video quality do you prefer overall? Let me know in the comments. Our third question, is Insta360 Frame the workflow breakthrough we've been waiting for? Let's find out. The X5's new Instaframe mode lets you capture a third-person view as easily as a GoPro. Just press the shutter, that's all. Your reframed video is ready to use straight out of the camera. I'm recording. Here I am, in front of this fountain. We'll stop recording. But what if you want to be creative? Don't worry, it records a full 360 video at the same time, so you can reframe the 360 video any way you want after shooting. Now here's a tip. Instaframe lets you switch views in the middle of recording. You can switch between the selfie view and the second view, such as the rear lens. Now please note, Instaframe does have some limits. First, the selfie view doesn't work well in low light. Second, sometimes the selfie view tracking isn't as accurate as AI tracking on Insta360 Studio. Third, the reframed resolution is only 1080p. That sounds very limited, but it almost has the same detail as a regular 4K reframed video. One of the biggest problems when shooting in 360, the fragile lenses. Can the Insta360 X5 finally solve this problem? Let's find out. So we have the Insta360 X5 here on the selfie stick tripod, and we're going to test it against the pavement. I'm gonna put it here in the pavement, and then I'm gonna tip it over, and we'll see if the lens breaks. If it survives, I'm gonna extend it one more length, and we'll keep going taller and taller until it smashes the lens. Let's see, dust. I guess it is already scratched. It's already scratched.
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over.
Fortunately, fixing the lens is easy with the lens replacement kit. Can be done in less than 5 minutes. It's really noisy here. It's really noisy here. I think this is a pretty good test. What's more important than good video is clear audio, at least when you're vlogging. So here I am, at one of the busiest airports in the world, LAX. How well can you hear my voice? Now obviously, if you really need the clear audio, it's better to have a microphone like this. But if you don't have one, then we're forced to use the built-in mic, and we want to see how well we can hear my voice. But if you don't have one, then we're forced to use the built-in mic, and we want to see how well we can hear my voice. But if you don't have one, then we're forced to use the built-in mic, and we want to see how well we can hear my voice. Now this is at arm's length. I'm going to test it also at a little bit farther length. This is about 3 feet away from me. How well can you hear my voice? Now this is at arm's length. I'm going to test it also at a little bit farther length. This is about 3 feet away from me. How well can you hear my voice? Now this is at arm's length. I'm going to test it also at a little bit farther length. This is about 3 feet away from me. How well can you hear my voice? All right. So should you buy the Insta360 X5? I'll break it down into whether you're already shooting in 360 or you're new to 360 and you're considering the Insta360 X5. If you're already shooting with 360, my first question to you is, what's your priority? Is it photo, video, or both? If your priority is photos, the X5 doesn't add anything super new. The Insta360 X3 is much cheaper. It is arguably as good as the Insta360 X5 and just as easy to use. You might also consider the Kucam 3 Ultra, which also has auto exposure bracketing and has 96 megapixel resolution, so higher resolution than the Insta360 X5. Or if you want even higher resolution, also check out the X-Face scan, which has 16K resolution. Now, what if your priority is video or both photo and video? In that case, my question for you is, what's your priority? Is it ease of use? Is it quality? Or is it price? So let's take the easy case. If you care about ease of use, then there's no question the Insta360 X5 is the easiest 360 camera to use right now, especially because of Instaframe. That's going to save you a lot of time. Now, on the other hand, if your priority is quality, then I think it's a toss-up between the X5 and the Kucam 3 Ultra. So let's talk about the Kucam 3 Ultra first. GoCam 3 Ultra has 10-bit video HLG, but it has several drawbacks. Number one, it costs more than the X5. It's $599 right now. Second, the AI tracking in the Kandao Studio software as of now is not as good as Insta360 Studio. So even though the stabilization is actually very good, when you use the AI tracking, it looks kind of jittery. So this means that you'll have to either keyframe it manually, or you'll have to render the 360 video in ProRes and then import that into Insta360 Studio so that you can use the Insta360 Studio's AI tracking. So that's going to add extra step, and it increases the amount of space it takes up in your hard drive. But if you color grade a lot and 10-bit HLG is really important to you, then GoCam 3 Ultra is pretty much the only game in town right now. Now, if for the rest of us, if color grading isn't as important, then there's no question that the highest image quality right now is the Insta360 X5. What if your priority is price? I think it's a choice between the X4 and the X5. Now, the X4 is cheaper, and the video quality in daylight is pretty good, very good. It's close to the X5. And if you don't pixel peep, I think most people won't be able to tell the difference except for glare. Now, what about the X5? The X5 costs more, that's true, but it has replaceable lenses. If you have an X4 and you accidentally damage your lenses, the cost of repairing plus shipping back is going to far exceed the price difference between the X4 and the X5. And consider also that what if you break the X4 while you're on vacation, then the lost opportunity there could be worth much more. So I think just for that alone, the X5 is a better value on top of the other advantages like the Instaframe and the better video quality. So it all depends on whether you can fit the X5 into your budget. If you can't, I think the X4 is still a very good option. What if you're totally new to 360? You saw that 360 has a lot of advantages. You have amazing stabilization. You have a third-person view, and the most valuable benefit of them all is that you can shoot without aiming, which lets you be present with your family and friends. You can actually enjoy the stuff that you're doing, whether you're skiing or enjoying your time at a theme park. That to me is more valuable than any of the other benefits of shooting in 360. Now, in the past, all this came with compromises, like fragile lenses, takes a longer time to edit, and then lower image quality. But now with the Insta360 X5, I think it's getting really, really close to the quality of a good action cam. Maybe not as good as the absolute best action cam out there, but most people won't be able to tell the difference. So if you ask me, have we reached the action cam singularity? Have 360 cameras gotten so good that even traditional GoPro shooters might want to switch? I'd say yes with the Insta360 X5. Let me know if you have any questions. I'll see you in 360.